Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Welcome to week 2. Sorry the video is a couple days late. I had to settle in and figure out who was in the class after watching videos. There's some movement happening, but now we are ready to roll. So if you look here are all your teams for the term. Find the folks you're working with and reach out as soon as possible. The best way I suggest to start the conversation is go to content and go to teams. And your team folders are open now. So if you're on team 1, go to team 1 and at least post your email, maybe a phone number. Now you can use these folders for the entire term. They're open to you. Some groups do. Other groups start the conversation here, then move someplace else. It does not really matter to me. I just want to make sure you have the best means of communication, and the team folders are a great way to start that. Okay. Also, I did give some grace this week in regards to discussion questions. I saw several people that didn't understand the expectation, so it's posted here. You're posting one original thread to your video you watch and then 2 follow-up compares. Moving forward, I'll be pretty strict on it. I always, the first week, are pretty flexible as people settle into the course. Okay, then also this is the other important thread that I posted yesterday, critical next steps. Once you talk to your team, assign a project manager to your team. Project manager has a few extra responsibilities, one of which they submit the work on behalf of the team. Everybody should be working on the same assignment. But when it's done, the project manager submits. Just like in working life, you're going to have somebody that submits on behalf of the team. Everybody contacts the client. There's somebody that's client-facing. And you have to have faith your project manager submitted it. If you submit duplicates or multiple of the same assignment, it muddies the grade book. And it's hard for me. So please don't do that. If you do, I'll have to grade your entire team down. So let's just have faith in the project manager. Also, project managers will give me updates each week as they complete teamwork of how the team's doing. So if somebody's missing in action, let's say Ed, he's not working on anything, wasn't even here the whole week, then don't put Ed's name on the assignment. I don't know, for some reason students feel like they are obligated to post everybody's name that's on the team. If they didn't work, they're not on the assignment. They shouldn't be. And then Ed will get a 0. Hopefully, while I came to class, realizing there's some team components and that we're going to work together as a team and be successful. And I get feedback from the project manager saying, everybody's great, everybody's rock stars. I love seeing those emails. You can even tell me when somebody does extraordinary work. Maybe say Joan was the all-star of the team this week. That's fine too. One other thing I want to hear from project managers is maybe Ed, I already talked, maybe Bob. He did some work, but it was marginal work. It just, couldn't use most of it. It just was subpar. Well, then Bob's going to get a grade, but not the same as the team. I want to make sure this is equitable. Whoever works is getting the grade. They're getting compensated. Those who don't work don't get the increase of salary annually. Look at it that way. Bit of coaching also. Don't wait for somebody to show up. Once you start having team dialogue, just say, hey, everybody have our first meeting next Tuesday. Or you work with your team and figure out what's best for everybody. But if somebody doesn't show up, like Helen doesn't show up for the first team meeting, move forward without. You got to hit the ground running. Now, when Helen shows up, well, then you can plug her in. But what I've heard too often from teams is you wait for that one person, they don't show up until Saturday at 5, and now you'll have 24 hours to get the work done. You want to start putting deadlines, like first rough draft is due by Wednesday. Final draft is Saturday night. Sunday we submit. That's the best way to navigate the course. Okay. Now, looking at content, we are now, week 1 is behind us. These discussion questions did close on Sunday night at midnight, so there's no longer an opportunity to contribute to those. The newer ones are week 2. You have a great conversation from Dr. Jessica Garza on working with prickly people. And we all have done that. We've all experienced that. And if you haven't, well, maybe you're the prickly person. This is a really good talk on how to identify and navigate those waters. And then Julia is going to talk about how to have constructive conversations. We can disagree, but how do we have these conversations professionally? And finally, the assignment of the week is what we do not say. And this is more of a journal type assignment where you're going to look at 2 conversations you've had and analyze them beyond the words. What was happening when you had this exchange through the 80% of the other part of communication, body language, tone, how people are standing, and so forth. That's what I want you to analyze, okay? There's no assignment I can give you that gives you the essence of the assignment. I encourage you, I push you, I'll give extra points. If you make it visually appealing, like an infographic, and you tell your story, that's fine. Or through PowerPoint, but that's the assignment. And then we get into week 3. As next week we do emotional intelligence. I want to give you a heads up because this is a 6-day assignment. There are a lot of moving parts on it, so I want you to maybe start thinking about it now. I think in week 5, just to give you some, week 6 is when we get in the team aspect. And so you might say, well, this is week 2, Cole. Why would I want to start doing team conversations? The team assignments are next level. You're working with company culture. You're going to do an allocation of funds through campus needs. You can see how rich these are. I'd give yourself a little runway to make sure you're ready for this. Okay, folks, that's everything for this week. If you have any questions, reach out, and I'll do another video next week.